Blueberries and eye health share one of the quietly remarkable relationships in the whole world of everyday food. Over the next little while, you will see a collection of simple preparations that bring blueberries together with familiar companions, from a handful of fresh berries in a bowl to gentle blends and cool, refreshing mixtures. While we explore what these small blue spheres can offer your vision, the nutrients they hold, the traditions gathered around them, and the easiest ways to fold them into an ordinary day. Everything here stays practical, affordable, and grounded in real food. Consider this the useful knowledge you came to find, offered one clear idea at a time, so that by the end, you hold both the story of this little fruit and a handful of easy ways to enjoy it. Right at the start, picture blueberries beside the bright spark of a lime and the deep orange of a carrot. Three colors arrive together, and color turns out to be one of the great secrets of food that supports the eyes. That single idea will guide much of our story, because the pigments that paint fruits and vegetables are very often the exact compounds researchers find most interesting for the delicate work of sight. Keep that thought close, because it returns again and again as the picture grows richer. So what makes a blueberry blue? The answer sits at the heart of its value. That deep blue-purple skin is rich in a family of natural pigments called anthocyanins. These pigments belong to a larger group of plant compounds known as flavonoids, and they act as antioxidants inside the body. In simple terms, an antioxidant helps protect cells from a kind of everyday wear that scientists call oxidative stress. Think of it as a slow form of rust that living tissue works constantly to manage. Blueberries are among the better-known fruit sources of these colorful protective compounds, frequently ranked near the top of common fruits for their antioxidant richness, and that reputation is a large part of why they are so beloved. Yet the real wonder begins when we ask what those compounds may mean for the eyes. Researchers remain especially curious about how these colorful compounds relate to healthy circulation. The eye depends on a network of exceptionally fine blood vessels to deliver oxygen and nutrients to its hard-working tissues. And good blood flow is part of what keeps vision comfortable over a lifetime. Studies continue to explore how the plant compounds in deeply colored berries may fit into this picture. And while the science is still unfolding, the broader message is already clear and encouraging. A diet generous in colorful fruits and vegetables supports the healthy circulation the whole body relies upon, eyes very much included. Now, why should the eyes care about antioxidants in particular? Here, the story becomes genuinely beautiful. The eye behaves like a living camera. Light passes through the clear front window, the cornea, travels through the lens, and lands on a delicate screen at the back called the retina. That retina holds two kinds of light-sensing cells. The rods handle dim light and help you see in shadow and at night, while the cones handle color and fine detail in brighter conditions. Together, millions of them convert streams of light into signals your brain reads as the world. It is one of the most active and light-exposed tissues in the entire body. Day after day, it absorbs light and works at astonishing speed. And that combination of light and oxygen naturally produces oxidative stress. This is exactly the setting where a steady supply of antioxidant-rich foods, blueberries among them, fits so neatly into a thoughtful diet. It helps to picture the whole visual system as a beautifully coordinated team. The lens bends and focuses incoming light with astonishing precision, adjusting moment to moment as your gaze shifts from a near page to a far window. The retina translates that light into signals, and the brain assembles them into the seamless world you see. Every part of this system benefits from steady nourishment, and as the years pass, a diet rich in colorful, antioxidant-bearing foods becomes one of the gentlest and most enjoyable ways to care for it. Blueberries slip easily into that lifelong habit. Let us bring this straight down to the kitchen. The simplest preparation of all needs no recipe card. A single cup of fresh blueberries, roughly 150 grams, served in a small bowl as a snack or alongside breakfast, delivers fiber, vitamin C, and that signature dose of anthocyanins, all in their complete natural form. When you eat the whole berry, skin and all, you keep every bit of the fiber. And the skin is precisely where much of the color and antioxidant value lives. It is humble, it is quick, and it is one of the finest small things you can do for a colorful, eye-friendly plate. There is a lovely contrast worth noticing here. A blueberry is tiny, easily balanced on a fingertip. Yet inside that small body sits a surprisingly rich collection of nutrients. One modest cup offers a meaningful share of vitamin C and vitamin K, a good amount of the mineral manganese, and a generous helping of fiber, all for very few calories. Small size, large contribution. That theme returns again and again with this fruit, and it is worth remembering whenever a food this humble tempts you to overlook it. Blueberries also pair with almost everything, which is part of their everyday genius. When they join the mellow sweetness of banana, the sunny richness of mango, and the crisp bite of a green apple, you get a naturally sweet, colorful medley that carries antioxidants from several directions at once. A simple blend of a cup of blueberries with half a banana and a splash of water makes a smooth, gentle drink that many people enjoy in the morning. The banana brings creaminess and a little natural sweetness, while the blueberries bring their deep color and their fiber. If you prefer a thinner texture, a little more water loosens it beautifully. A green apple, chopped in, adds a fresh, tart lift that keeps the whole thing from feeling heavy. Here is a useful detail about that sweetness. Compared with many popular fruits, blueberries are relatively modest in sugar and generous in fiber, and that fiber slows the release of their natural sugars into the body. For anyone who values steady energy and a comfortable rhythm through the day, that balance is a quiet advantage. Whole blueberries, eaten just as they are, keep that fiber fully intact, and that single feature makes them one of the easiest fruits to enjoy freely. Return with me to the eye for a moment, because the reason antioxidants matter there deserves a closer look. Inside the retina sit those millions of tiny, light-sensitive cells, firing and resetting every time you glance at a face, a page, or a distant horizon. That relentless activity, bathed in light, produces reactive molecules that healthy tissue works to keep in balance. A diet rich in colorful plants supplies a broad mix of antioxidant compounds that support the body's own everyday maintenance systems. No single food carries the whole responsibility, and that is the honest and reassuring truth. Blueberries simply take their welcome place among a colorful cast of fruits and vegetables that, together, help the body do its quiet work year after year. Consider what modern life asks of our eyes. Many of us now spend hours looking at bright screens, holding our focus close and steady for long stretches, and our eyes work harder than ever to keep up. During intense screen time, people tend to blink less often, and the eye surface can begin to feel tired and dry. This is where gentle daily habits matter. Looking into the distance now and then, blinking fully, keeping well hydrated, and eating a colorful, nutrient-rich diet all support the comfort and resilience of hard-working eyes. Blueberries, with their antioxidants and their water content, sit comfortably within that supportive picture, one small and pleasant piece of a sensible modern routine. Vitamin C plays its own supporting role in this story. The eye contains some of the highest concentrations of vitamin C found anywhere in the body. This vitamin contributes to the normal maintenance of many tissues, and it is essential for building collagen, the protein that gives structure to the clear cornea and to the tiny blood vessels that nourish the eye. Blueberries offer a helpful amount of vitamin C, and when they meet citrus fruits, the total naturally climbs. A squeeze of orange, mandarin, or lime alongside a bowl of berries brightens both the flavor and the vitamin C content in one easy step, a small pairing with a real purpose behind it. Another simple and satisfying preparation brings blueberries together with plain yogurt. Half a cup of blueberries stirred into a bowl of unsweetened yogurt makes a breakfast that feels indulgent while staying genuinely wholesome. The gentle fat and protein in the yogurt help you feel comfortably full. The berries add color, fiber, and antioxidants. And the whole thing takes less than a minute to assemble. For extra texture, leave a few blueberries whole on top, so each spoonful ends with a little burst of flavor. It is the kind of quick, dependable breakfast that turns good intentions into an easy daily habit. Now the story turns towards something many people find surprising. Blueberries carry, in smaller amounts, two special pigments called lutein and zeaxanthin. You will hear much more about these remarkable compounds shortly, because they sit at the very center of eye-supporting nutrition. Leafy greens and certain orange fruits hold larger amounts, yet blueberries still contribute to the daily total. And within a varied diet, every contribution counts toward the whole. Speaking of orange fruits, blueberries blend wonderfully with the soft, honeyed flesh of a ripe persimmon and the mellow sweetness of banana. Persimmon, when fully ripe and soft, offers its own warm color and a naturally smooth texture, and a small blend of blueberries with banana and a few spoonfuls of ripe persimmon becomes a comforting, spoonable treat. As always, the blueberries anchor the mixture with their deep color and their antioxidant character, while the softer fruits round out the flavor into something gentle and satisfying. Every blueberry you enjoy today carries a long and rather astonishing history. Here is a fact that catches many people by surprise. For most of human history, blueberries were entirely wild. The plants we now recognize grew across the woodlands and open barrens of North America, and for countless generations the indigenous peoples of that land gathered them, ate them fresh, and dried them to preserve their sweetness through the colder months. Dried blueberries traveled well and stored beautifully. In some traditions, the dried fruit was pounded together with meat and fat into a dense, lasting food that could sustain people through long journeys and hard winters, a dependable staple long before any farm existed. The cultivated blueberry, the plump and uniform berry sold in markets around the world today, is a surprisingly modern creation. It arrived through the patient work of two people in the early 20th century. A botanist named Frederick Coville began studying wild blueberries in the early 1900s, and he made a crucial discovery. These plants prefer acidic, well-drained soil, a particular condition that had defeated earlier attempts to tame them. He then joined forces with Elizabeth White, who lived on a farm in New Jersey and gathered the finest wild plants from the surrounding countryside, offering rewards for the largest and sweetest berries her neighbors could find. Together, around the year 1916, they brought the first commercial crop of cultivated blueberries to harvest. A wild woodland berry became a modern orchard fruit within a single lifetime. Ancient plant, modern kitchen, connected by a story barely a century old, and now grown and enjoyed across much of the world. There is a charming distinction hiding inside that history. The small, wild blueberries that still grow across the northern barrens, often called lowbush berries, tend to be tiny and intensely flavored, packing a great deal of color and character into each little sphere. The larger cultivated berries you usually find in markets, the highbush type, are plumper and milder, easy to eat by the handful. Both are wonderful, and both belong in this story. If you ever meet the smaller wild berries, whether fresh or frozen, treat yourself, because their deep flavor is a taste of the fruit, much as earlier generations knew it. That history offers a gentle contrast worth savoring. When you place blueberries beside carrot, banana, melon, and mandarin in a colorful mixture, you are gathering foods that traveled remarkably different roads to reach the same bowl. Carrots carry centuries of cultivation across Asia and Europe. Melons trace roots through ancient trade. Mandarins journeyed from distant orchards. And the blueberry, by comparison, is a relative newcomer to the farm, still close to its wild beginnings. Different histories, one shared purpose on the plate, and a reminder that the ordinary bowl in front of you gathers up the whole world. Now let us return to those two pigments, lutein and zeaxanthin, because their story is one of the most elegant in all of eye nutrition. Deep within the retina lies a small central region called the macula, and at its very center, a tiny pit that delivers your sharpest, most detailed central vision. This is the vision you use to read, to recognize faces, to thread a needle. And here is the wonder of it. The body deliberately concentrates lutein and zeaxanthin in that exact spot, forming what scientists call the macular pigment. These pigments absorb a portion of the intense blue light that reaches the most precious part of the eye, acting rather like a soft, built-in filter. A pair of internal sunglasses woven from the colors of the plants we eat, tiny pigment molecules, an enormous and delicate responsibility. The body gathers lutein and zeaxanthin entirely from food, since it produces none of its own. That single fact transforms the humble plate into something rather powerful, because the colors you choose to eat become the raw material for this natural protection. Leafy greens, such as spinach, stand among the very richest sources, along with other deeply colored vegetables and fruits. Blueberries add their smaller share, and within a varied, colorful diet, every source builds patiently toward the whole. This is why eye-supporting nutrition is never about one miracle food. It is about the steady, colorful variety of an ordinary week. Think of your body's antioxidant defenses as a quiet maintenance crew that shows up every single day. They do their best work when they are supplied regularly, in small, steady amounts, rather than in one occasional flood. This is genuinely good news, because it means the humble, repeatable habit matters more than any grand gesture. A modest bowl of blueberries enjoyed often will always serve you better than a mountain of them enjoyed once. Consistency, gentle and unhurried, is the true friend of long-term eye health. This is where a clever kitchen detail earns its place. Lutein and zeaxanthin, along with the beta-carotene found in many orange vegetables, are fat-soluble, which means the body absorbs them far more readily when a little fat is present in the same meal. A wonderful way to use this knowledge is a simple salad. Toss a handful of fresh spinach with a scattering of blueberries. Then finish it with a light dressing built from a teaspoon of flaxseed oil and a squeeze of citrus. That small teaspoon of flaxseed oil, added cold to the finished salad, helps your body draw out the fat-soluble pigments from the greens and the berries alike. Color, flavor, and smarter absorption, all in one easy bowl, and a perfect example of how a tiny detail can quietly multiply the value of a meal. You can lean on this same idea with whole foods that naturally carry fat. A small scattering of walnuts or almonds over a blueberry breakfast, or a spoonful of ground flaxseed stirred into yogurt or oatmeal, brings along the gentle fat that helps the body absorb fat-soluble pigments while adding a pleasant texture of its own. For anyone with a sensitive stomach, a smaller portion of berries, or berries gently warmed into a soft compote, often sits more comfortably than a large raw serving. And building up slowly lets the body settle into the habit with ease. If a blended drink appeals to you more than a salad, the same principle applies. A green blend of blueberries with a handful of spinach and a little water carries both the anthocyanins of the berries and the lutein of the greens. The spinach flavor stays mild and pleasant when balanced by the natural sweetness of the fruit, and the color turns a deep, striking shade that tells you the pigments are present and generous. For anyone new to green blends, blueberries are the perfect gentle introduction, since their sweetness softens the taste of the leaves so kindly. Because blueberries carry such a friendly, mellow flavor, you can enjoy them in either a concentrated or a gentler form to suit your taste. A thicker blend, made with less water, gives a richer, more intense berry flavor for those who love it bold. A lighter version, loosened with more water and perhaps a slice of sweet fruit, turns mellow and easy to sip. A little tartness from citrus brightens the whole thing, while a soft banana or a spoon of mango rounds any sharp edges into something smooth and welcoming. Blueberries also welcome a warming companion. A small piece of fresh ginger, finely grated, adds a gentle heat and a lively aroma to a blueberry blend. And ginger has long been valued across many traditions as a comforting kitchen root. A cup of blueberries with a thin slice of ginger and a little water makes a bright, invigorating drink, especially pleasant when you want something with a bit more character. The blueberries keep their central role, deep in color and rich in antioxidants, while the ginger simply lifts the whole experience with its warmth. Here, the story opens onto one of the oldest connections between food and sight, the link between certain orange pigments and vitamin A. Many colorful vegetables and fruits, carrots most famously, are rich in beta-carotene, a pigment the body can convert into vitamin A as it is needed. And vitamin A sits at the very foundation of vision. Inside the rod cells of the retina, vitamin A helps build a light-sensitive pigment called rhodopsin, the substance that allows the eye to respond in dim conditions. When you step from a bright room into darkness and slowly begin to see again, that gradual adjustment depends on this quiet chemistry, and vitamin A is right at its center. This is the deep biological reason behind the old and genuinely well-founded idea that certain colorful foods support the eyes. Blueberries themselves are a modest source of beta-carotene, and honesty matters here. Their gift is a different one, resting in their anthocyanins and their broader antioxidant character. This is exactly why pairing them with beta-carotene-rich companions makes such good sense. When blueberries meet carrot, mango, and mandarin, the anthocyanins of the berry join forces with the carotenoids of the other fruits, and the plate covers far more of the eye-supporting spectrum than any single food could alone. A blend or a mixed bowl of blueberries with a little carrot, some mango, and a mandarin becomes a small celebration of complementary colors, each one bringing something the others lack. There is a famous story worth telling here, told as a story rather than as settled science. During a certain wartime era, a tale spread that pilots were eating a close cousin of the blueberry, the European bilberry, to sharpen their night vision. The account captured imaginations for decades and is still repeated today. Modern research has looked at these deep blue berries with real interest, and while the dramatic night vision claim remains far from proven, the curiosity that story sparked helped inspire genuine scientific attention to anthocyanins and the eye. It is a lovely example of folklore and science walking side by side, each adding a layer to the other, and it reminds us to hold traditional tales with both affection and a clear head. Across many parts of the world, deeply colored berries have long held a place of quiet respect in traditional kitchens, valued as foods of vitality and gathered eagerly in their short season. People noticed, long before any laboratory, that these dark little fruits felt special and worth preserving. Modern nutrition now offers language for what earlier generations sensed by instinct, describing the pigments and vitamins these berries carry. Tradition and science, in this case, tell a wonderfully compatible story, and blueberries sit comfortably at the meeting point of the two. Raspberries deserve a warm mention here too, since they so often keep blueberries company. Like blueberries, raspberries carry their own colorful antioxidant pigments and a good measure of fiber and vitamin C. And a mixed bowl of blueberries and raspberries offers a beautiful range of reds and blues, along with a pleasant sweet tart flavor. Two small berries, a shared purpose, and a plate that grows more colorful and more interesting with every addition. Let us turn now to some genuinely practical wisdom, the kind that makes all of this easy to live with. Choosing good blueberries is a simple skill. Look for berries that are plump, firm, and deeply colored, and notice that fine, silvery white dusting on the surface. That soft coating is called the bloom, and it is entirely natural. Far from a flaw, the bloom is a sign of freshness, a protective layer the berry produces on its own. Firm, richly colored berries with an intact bloom are the ones you want, and a quick glance at the bottom of the container, checking that it stays clean and dry, tells you the berries inside are sound. One of the loveliest things about blueberries is how little they ask of the cook. There is no peeling, no coring, no slicing required. A rinse under cool water is the whole preparation, which makes them a perfect food for the very young and the young at heart alike. Children can eat them by the handful with no fuss, and older family members who prefer soft, easy foods can enjoy them fresh, gently warmed, or lightly mashed. Few foods this good for you are also this effortless to share across a whole family. Storing them well keeps their goodness longer. Fresh blueberries rest happily in the refrigerator, and a helpful habit is to keep them dry until you are ready to eat them. Washing berries just before serving, rather than long in advance, helps them stay firm and fresh for up to a week or two. When you are ready, a quick rinse under cool running water is all they need. There is little call for anything elaborate. Cool water and a gentle touch handle ordinary berries beautifully, and treating them as the simple, wholesome food they are keeps the whole habit light and stress-free. For the longer term, blueberries freeze remarkably well, and this is one of the most useful facts in the whole story. Spread them on a tray so they freeze as separate pieces, then gather them into a container, and they keep for many months. Because berries destined for freezing are usually picked when fully ripe and chilled quickly, frozen blueberries hold on to their color and their nutrients admirably, standing shoulder to shoulder with fresh. They are also often gentler on a modest budget and available all year round. Straight from the freezer, they become a cool, refreshing snack on a warm afternoon, almost like tiny natural sorbet spheres. Dropped into a blend, they add both chill and body with no need for ice. Keeping a bag in the freezer may be the single most practical habit in this entire story. A colorful thought before we move on. A mixed bowl of blueberries and raspberries with a handful of spinach, brightened by a fresh orange, brings together berries, leaves, and citrus in a single serving that spans a wide range of eye-supporting nutrients, from anthocyanins to lutein to vitamin C. Simple foods, thoughtfully combined, quietly cover a remarkable amount of ground, and they prove that eating for your eyes need never be complicated or costly. A question many thoughtful people ask is whether to enjoy blueberries whole or as a juice, and the honest answer holds real value on both sides. Whole blueberries keep all of their fiber, and that fiber slows digestion, supports a comfortable gut, and gently moderates the natural sugars. A fresh blueberry juice or a strained blend, on the other hand, offers a more concentrated and convenient burst of certain nutrients and a smoother texture, though it leaves some of the fiber behind. Both choices hold their place. For everyday nourishment, whole berries make a wonderful foundation, while a juice or a smooth blend can be a pleasant occasional variation when you want something lighter to sip. When you do enjoy a more concentrated blueberry drink, a splash of water to dilute it makes the flavor gentler and the natural sugars easier to take in slowly. Sipping a glass of plain water alongside, simply for comfort, rounds out the experience. Hydration itself supports the whole body, and it matters especially for the eyes, whose surface relies on a delicate film of moisture, the tear layer, to stay clear and comfortable. When the body is well hydrated, that surface has what it needs to feel at ease, so a glass of water is always close to this conversation about sight. On portions, a comfortable and realistic guide is roughly a handful to a cup of blueberries, about 80 to 150 grams on most days, folded into an already varied diet. That amount fits easily into breakfast, into a snack, or into a blend, and it leaves plenty of room for the other colorful foods that round out eye-supporting nutrition. Moderation and variety, rather than any single large serving, Create the most balanced and sustainable rhythm, one you can happily keep for years rather than weeks. And blueberries need never be confined to breakfast. Scatter a few over a green salad, and they add jewel-like sweetness alongside the leaves and their fat-soluble pigments. Stir them into a grain bowl, and they lift an ordinary lunch with color and a gentle burst of flavor. Enjoy a small bowl in the evening in place of a heavier dessert, and you satisfy a craving for something sweet while feeding your body real nourishment. The more corners of the day a food can fill so easily, the more naturally it becomes a genuine and lasting habit. Here is a warm and filling preparation for cooler mornings. Stir half a cup of blueberries into a bowl of cooked oatmeal, either fresh or straight from frozen. As the warm oats meet the berries, the fruit softens slightly and releases its color into the porridge, turning it a gentle shade of purple. You gain the fiber of both the oats and the berries in one comforting bowl, a preparation that feels like a small daily kindness to yourself. A few extra berries scattered on top add brightness and a little burst of flavor in every spoonful, and a sprinkle of seeds or nuts turns it into a complete and satisfying start to the day. Blueberries and apple make another classic and affordable pairing. A crisp red apple, chopped and combined with a handful of blueberries, creates a naturally sweet mixture rich in fiber and gentle plant compounds. Enjoyed as a simple chopped fruit bowl, or blended with a little water into a smooth drink, blueberries and apple make a friendly, budget-conscious combination that almost anyone can put together from ordinary market fruit. The apple lends its own soft sweetness and satisfying crunch, while the blueberries bring their deep color and their antioxidant characters straight to the center of the bowl. It is proof that the most nourishing choices are often the plainest and the least expensive. As our story gathers toward its close, let us weave the most useful threads together into something you can carry into any ordinary week. The heart of it is simple. A handful of blueberries most days, eaten whole for their fiber or blended for variety, sits at the center of a colorful, eye-friendly way of eating. Around that center, you build with other colors, the deep green of spinach, the warm orange of mango, melon, and mandarin, the bright spark of citrus, each adding its own nutrients to the whole. Eating a rainbow across the week, rather than chasing any single food, is the real secret, and blueberries make one of its most enjoyable and reliable notes. A gentle weekly rhythm can make this effortless. Perhaps blueberries and yogurt on some mornings, a green blend with spinach on others, a handful scattered over a salad at lunch, and a small bowl of berries in place of a heavier dessert now and then. Across a single week, that easy variety quietly delivers anthocyanins, lutein, vitamin C, and a broad spread of colorful nutrients, all without a single complicated meal. The habit stays light, the flavors stay interesting, and your eyes receive steady, gentle support the whole time. A blend that brings blueberries together with a little spinach, some mango, and a slice of melon or mandarin becomes a striking, deeply colored drink that gathers anthocyanins, lutein, carotenoids, and vitamin C into a single glass. The blueberries hold the center with their color and their antioxidants. The spinach quietly contributes its precious pigments, and the sweeter fruits soften the flavor into something genuinely enjoyable. This is eye-supporting nutrition at its most practical, its most affordable, and its most delicious. And it takes only a few minutes to prepare. For a preparation with a little more substance, blueberries pair beautifully with chia seeds. Stir a tablespoon of chia seeds into a cup of water or milk with half a cup of blueberries. Then let it rest for a short while until the seeds swell into a soft, spoonable pudding. The chia adds fiber and a pleasant texture. The blueberries add their color and their gentle sweetness, and the result keeps well in the refrigerator for a day or two, ready whenever hunger arrives. It makes a thoughtful make-ahead breakfast for busy mornings, waiting quietly for you while the day begins. If you enjoy warm preparations, a gentle blueberry compote offers comfort with very little effort. Warm a cup of blueberries in a small pan with a splash of water over low heat until they soften and release their juices into a glossy, deep purple sauce. Spoon it over oatmeal, over yogurt, or simply enjoy it on its own. A gentle warmth softens the berries beautifully, and the compote keeps in the refrigerator for a few days. A small jar of color ready to brighten a plain breakfast whenever you like. A little goes a long way, so even a single cup of berries stretches across several mornings. And for the simplest refreshment of all, a light blueberry infusion asks almost nothing of you. Gently crush a small handful of fresh blueberries into a jug of cool water and let it rest for a while, so the color and flavor drift into the water. The result is a softly tinted, lightly flavored drink, a calm and pretty way to enjoy a little of the berry's character while staying comfortably hydrated through the day. On a warm afternoon, it is a gentle alternative to plainer drinks, quietly encouraging you to reach for water more often. There is one more pairing that makes a fitting note near the end: blueberries and mango together. The deep blue of the berry beside the golden orange of ripe mango is a picture of complementary color, and it is a partnership of complementary nutrients as well. The mango brings its carotenoids and its lush tropical sweetness, while the blueberries bring their anthocyanins and their fiber. A simple bowl of the two, or a smooth blend of blueberries and mango with a little water, offers a naturally sweet, sunshine-colored way to bring more eye-supporting variety into a day, and it tastes like a small holiday in a glass. So let this be the shape you carry with you. Choose plump, deeply colored blueberries with their silvery bloom intact. Keep them dry and cool until you want them. Then rinse them quickly under cool water. Enjoy roughly a handful to a cup on most days, whole for their full fiber, or blended for pleasant variety, often in the morning or as a snack when it suits you. Lean on their natural friends, the leafy greens, the orange fruits, and the citrus. And remember that a small teaspoon of flaxseed oil, stirred cold into a salad or a finished dish, helps your body draw out the fat-soluble pigments that matter so much for the eyes. Pair them often with a colorful companion, a handful of greens, a slice of bright orange fruit, or a source of gentle fat, so that their quiet goodness is even easier for the body to use. Keep a bag in the freezer for the days when fresh runs low, and let variety, rather than any single food, do the quiet, steady work over the long stretch of a life. In the end, the blueberry gives us a small and beautiful lesson. Here is a fruit that fits in the palm of a hand, deep blue, faintly sweet, and quietly generous. It carries the memory of wild woodlands and the ingenuity of a single century of cultivation. It offers color that is also protection, sweetness that comes wrapped in fiber, and a comfortable place in nearly any simple preparation you can imagine. From a single handful eaten on a busy morning to a deep, colorful blend shared at a family table, it asks little and gives much. Thoughtful, colorful eating supports far more than the eyes alone. It nourishes the whole body, day after ordinary day. And a bowl of blueberries, plain and unhurried, remains one of the loveliest and most affordable ways to begin. Strawberries and eye health, two ideas that feel warm and familiar, yet together they open a story much larger than this small red fruit. Over the next little while, you will see several simple ways to enjoy strawberries alongside other everyday ingredients, while we explore what makes this fruit so valued for eyesight, the nutrients it carries inside its bright flesh, its genuinely surprising history, the traditions people built around it, and the easiest ways to fold it into an ordinary daily routine. Everything here is practical and meant for real kitchens and real budgets. This is the useful knowledge you came to find, and the strawberry is a beautiful place to begin the journey. Let us begin with something that sounds almost impossible. The plump, sweet strawberry resting in your bowl today is one of the youngest fruits on the whole table. Wild strawberries are ancient, gathered by people for thousands of years, yet they were tiny, often no larger than the tip of a finger. The big garden strawberry we know now is only around 270 years old. It appeared in Europe during the 1700s when a berry carried from North America met a berry from the cool coast of Chile, and the two were crossed into something entirely new. One small fruit, and already a tale that travels across oceans and centuries, ancient and modern at the very same time. That is the first quiet surprise, and there are many more waiting inside the color, the juice, and the gentle work this fruit does for your eyes. Because here is the promise of everything ahead. Strawberries are affordable, they are familiar, and they carry real value for the way you see the world. The search for natural foods for eye health so often leads towards something exotic and expensive, when a handful of ordinary berries already holds so much. Let us look more closely at why, and let us start with the very thing your eyes notice first. That thing is the unforgettable red. The color of a ripe strawberry is not mere decoration. It comes from a family of natural pigments called anthocyanins, and the main one in strawberries carries the name pelargonidin. These pigments belong to a larger group of plant compounds known as polyphenols, and they behave as antioxidants inside the body. Here is where the story turns gently toward your eyes. Vision is one of the most demanding jobs your body performs. Your eyes work with light every waking moment, and light, for all its beauty, creates a steady stream of tiny stresses inside delicate tissues. The body answers that challenge with its own quiet maintenance system, and the antioxidants in colorful foods become part of the raw material for that everyday upkeep. A strawberry, then, is far more than a sweet treat. It is a small parcel of color messengers, and those messengers join a much larger effort to keep sensitive tissues comfortable and well supported. Now the story becomes even more interesting, because color in food is a kind of signal. Deep reds, purples, oranges, and greens each point to different helpful compounds, which is exactly why a varied and colorful plate matters so much for eyesight. Strawberries bring the red. In a little while, we will meet the partners that bring the orange and the green, and you will see how beautifully they all fit together. First, though, the single nutrient that strawberries are truly famous for, the one that gives this fruit its quiet reputation as a friend to healthy eyes. Let us stay with those antioxidants for a moment, because they explain so much. Every time light strikes the eye, and every time the body simply goes about its daily work, small reactive fragments form as a natural byproduct, a little like the way metal can slowly weather when it is left exposed to the air. This is a normal part of being alive, and the body is well prepared for it, carrying its own defenses that neutralize these fragments and keep tissues in good order. Antioxidants from food lend a hand to that system. Vitamin C is one of the most important among them, and it does something rather elegant. Beyond acting on its own, it helps refresh and regenerate other antioxidants in the body, so a single nutrient can ripple outward and strengthen a whole network of protection. The eye, working with light hour after hour, is one of the places that benefits from this steady support. There is also a long thread of tradition here. Across many cultures, berries and other deeply colored fruits were quietly associated with good vision and clear sight, an old intuition passed down through kitchens and gardens. Modern nutrition does not treat that folklore as proof, yet it has found real substance in the idea that colorful, antioxidant-rich foods belong in a diet that cares for the eyes. Once again, the old wisdom and the new understanding lean toward the very same simple habit. It is a satisfying thought, and it makes the humble strawberry feel like part of something much older and larger than itself. That nutrient is vitamin C, and strawberries are wonderfully rich in it. Here is a number worth remembering. A single cupful of strawberries can provide close to a full day's worth of vitamin C for most adults. That is a remarkable amount from such a light, sweet food. Vitamin C matters for the whole body, and it holds a special place in the world of eye health. Picture the eye as a living camera. At the very front sits the cornea, the clear window that light passes through, and that window is built largely from a protein called collagen. Vitamin C is one of the ingredients the body uses to make collagen, which means it helps support the very structures that keep the eye's surface clear and strong. Vitamin C also gathers in the fluids inside the eye, in concentrations far higher than in most of the blood, a sign of how much this tissue values it. And it helps maintain the tiny, delicate blood vessels that nourish the tissues at the back, where vision truly comes to life. So, a food generous in vitamin C is a friend to eyesight in several quiet ways at once. This is the moment for the simplest idea of all, and it needs no special equipment. Rinse about a cupful of fresh strawberries, roughly 150 grams. Remove the little green caps, and enjoy them whole as a snack or as the bright part of a breakfast. Whole strawberries keep every bit of their fiber, which slows the natural sugars and keeps the sweetness gentle on the body. Even those tiny seeds dotting the surface add a little extra fiber of their own. A cup a day fits comfortably into a varied diet, and the benefits of strawberries begin with something this easy. Eaten in the morning or the early afternoon, they make a light, refreshing habit that asks almost nothing of your time. It is worth pausing on that image of the eye as a living camera, because it makes the whole subject easier to picture. Think of the colored iris as an aperture, opening and closing to let in just the right amount of light. Behind it, a clear lens focuses the scene, much as a camera lens does. And at the back lies the retina, the light-sensitive layer that captures the picture, a little like the film or the sensor that records an image. For all of that to work smoothly, the tissues must stay clear, moist, well-nourished, and protected from the daily wear of light. This is exactly where good food quietly earns its keep, supplying the building blocks and the protective compounds these tissues draw upon. Strawberries offer more than vitamin C toward that effort. They carry manganese, a mineral the body uses across many of its everyday processes, and folate, which supports the healthy renewal of cells throughout the body. They bring a little potassium along as well. None of these turns a strawberry into a medicine, and none needs to. Their value lies in being part of a whole, a small, well-rounded contribution slipped into a sweet and effortless package. That is the recurring lesson of this fruit. It does not shout. It simply shows up, colorful and generous, and lets the body do the rest. And staying well hydrated is the next quiet piece of that very same picture. There is another gift hidden in every strawberry, and it is easy to overlook. This fruit is more than 90% water. That simple fact carries real meaning for your eyes, because the surface of the eye depends on a thin, steady film of moisture to stay comfortable and to see clearly. Good hydration supports that film, and water-rich foods quietly add to the water you drink through the day. In a world of long hours in front of screens, when eyes so often feel tired and dry, a naturally hydrating food is a small and welcome comfort. A strawberry is a delicious way to sip while you chew. This makes a lovely, gentle preparation that many people enjoy. Slice a small handful of strawberries, drop them into a jug of cool water with a few fresh mint leaves, and let it rest in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 hours. The water takes on a soft blush of color and a whisper of sweetness, with no sugar added at all. It is a calm, refreshing way to drink more water through the day, and it suits any warm afternoon. The mint brings a cool, bright note that pairs naturally with the berry, and a jug like this keeps well in the refrigerator for about a day. Here is a small detail that changes how many people think about this fruit. Its sweetness feels like a real treat, yet a bowl of strawberries carries fewer natural sugars than most people expect, all of it wrapped in fiber and water. That combination is part of what makes the fruit so friendly to include often, and it sets the stage for the next idea, which brings in one of the most important vision partners of all. Here is a fact that deserves special attention. When people think of foods for eyesight, they very often picture something orange, and there is good reason for that. Orange vegetables like carrots and pumpkin are rich in beta-carotene, a natural pigment the body can convert into vitamin A. Vitamin A sits at the very heart of vision. It becomes part of the light-sensitive pigment inside the eye that allows you to adjust when the lights grow low, the quiet chemistry behind seeing in dim rooms and at dusk. When that adjustment works well, stepping from bright sun into a shadowed room feels smooth and natural. Now, strawberries themselves are not a major source of beta-carotene. Their gift is vitamin C and their bright polyphenols. But this is exactly why pairing foods is so powerful. Bring strawberries together with a carotenoid-rich partner, and you build something more complete than either one alone. Consider a simple blended drink made from about 1 cup of strawberries and 1 medium carrot, softened and blended smooth with a little water. The strawberries offer vitamin C and a beautiful natural sweetness. The carrot offers beta-carotene, and together they paint the plate with both red and orange. Here is the useful part. Beta-carotene is fat-soluble, which means the body absorbs it more easily when a small amount of healthy fat is present. Stir 1 teaspoon of flaxseed oil into the finished, cool drink, and that gentle touch of fat helps your body take up more of the carotenoids. Add the oil only at the end, to the cool blend, never to anything hot. This one small habit turns a pretty drink into a genuinely thoughtful one for eye-supporting nutrition. A blend like this fits well a few times a week, in the morning or with a midday meal. For a softer, sweeter version, a ripe banana blended in adds creaminess, a little natural potassium, and a rounder flavor that many people love. Strawberry and banana together make one of the friendliest drinks in any kitchen, and children often reach for it first. Carrot is not the only orange partner worth knowing. Pumpkin belongs in the very same welcoming family, another vegetable rich in beta-carotene and long valued as a gentle source of the raw material for vitamin A. A little cooked and cooled pumpkin, blended smooth with strawberries and a splash of water, makes a mellow, naturally sweet drink with a lovely warm color. And that same teaspoon of flaxseed oil stirred into the cool blend again helps the body take up the fat-soluble carotenoids. It is a soft, comforting combination, easy on the palate and kind to the stomach. Now, here is a detail that rewards a little curiosity. A strawberry only reaches its full sweetness and its full character when it ripens completely on the plant, which is why a fragrant, deeply red berry so often tastes worlds apart from a pale one picked too soon. That ripeness is also the moment when the fruit is at its most appealing and its most generous. This is one reason strawberries in their peak season are such a delight, and it is also why freezing turns out to be such a clever friend. Berries frozen at their ripe best lock in that quality, holding on to much of their goodness through the months when fresh ones are harder to find, so the season need never truly end. A bag of frozen strawberries tucked in the freezer means a bright, eye-friendly drink is always within reach, whatever the weather happens to be doing outside. The simplest habits, it turns out, are often the ones that last the longest, and there are a few more of them still to gather. Now let us meet 2 more names that belong at the very center of any conversation about eyesight. They are lutein and zeaxanthin, a pair of plant pigments that the body gathers and concentrates in a very special place. Deep inside the eye, at the small central spot responsible for your sharpest, most detailed vision, these 2 pigments collect to form what is often called the macular pigment. Think of it as a soft pair of built-in sunglasses, helping to filter some of the harsher blue light and acting as antioxidants right where clear central vision is created. This is the part of the eye you rely on to read a page, to recognize a familiar face across a room, and to thread a needle. Strawberries carry modest amounts of lutein and zeaxanthin, so they contribute to the effort, though the richest partners for these pigments are leafy greens and certain other deeply colored foods. This is where thoughtful pairing shines again. Combine strawberries with kiwi, and you gain a double serving of vitamin C, along with a little more of these eye-loving pigments, since kiwi carries them too. A simple fruit salad of sliced strawberries and kiwi, with nothing else needed, makes a bright and beautiful bowl for breakfast or a light dessert, and it comes together in a couple of minutes. For something a touch more adventurous, a small handful of fresh parsley, finely chopped and blended into a strawberry drink, adds a surprising green lift, along with more lutein and more vitamin C. It sounds unusual, yet the sweetness of the berries carries the herb gently, and the result feels clean and fresh. One tiny pair of pigments, one small central spot in the eye, and a lifetime of reading, recognizing, and seeing fine detail resting quietly upon it. The more colors you gather on your plate, the more completely you feed that delicate, patient work. This is also the perfect moment to let strawberries step out of the fruit bowl and onto a savory plate, where they shine in a way that surprises many people. A handful of sliced strawberries scattered over a bowl of tender leafy greens makes a salad that is as good for the eyes as it is beautiful to look at. The greens bring a rich supply of lutein and zeaxanthin, those two pigments that gather at the center of your sharpest vision, while the strawberries add their vitamin C and a burst of sweetness that balances the leaves. For the dressing, whisk a teaspoon of flaxseed oil together with a squeeze of lemon and the smallest pinch of salt, and spoon it over just before serving. That gentle fat is not only delicious, it also helps the body absorb the fat-soluble pigments from the greens, so a simple salad quietly becomes a thoughtful meal for eyesight. Keep the flaxseed oil for cool, finished dishes like this one, added at the end rather than heated, so it stays fresh and pleasant on the tongue. A salad like this costs very little, comes together in a few minutes, and turns an ordinary lunch into something bright and nourishing. It is a lovely example of how a sweet fruit and a leafy green, so different at first glance, can work side by side in service of the same delicate, hard-working eyes. Let us return now to the long history of this fruit, because it adds a layer that makes every bowl feel a little richer. Wild strawberries were treasured across the ancient world. They grew in woodlands and along sunny forest edges, and people gathered them wherever they appeared. The Romans knew them and prized their fragrance. Old European traditions later wove the strawberry into art and symbol, admiring its heart-like shape and its gentle sweetness. For many centuries, the fruit stayed small and rare, a fleeting joy of early summer that vanished almost as soon as it arrived. Then came that remarkable meeting of two distant berries, a species from eastern North America, prized for its flavor, and a species from the Pacific coast of South America, prized for its size, were carried back to the gardens of Europe and, almost by happy accident, brought together. The hybrid that resulted was larger, sweeter, and hardier than either parent, and it became the ancestor of nearly every strawberry sold today. From a handful of garden rows, cultivation spread across the world, until strawberries now grow on every continent except the frozen far south. A tiny woodland berry became one of the most beloved fruits on Earth. And throughout that long journey, people connected fresh fruits with vitality and bright, clear eyes. Long before anyone could name a single vitamin, tradition sensed a value that science would only later help to explain. That is the quiet beauty of this story. The old wisdom and the modern understanding point in the very same direction, towards simple, fresh, colorful food eaten with a little care. And knowing how to choose and keep that food well is the next practical skill worth having in your own kitchen. There is a charming footnote to that history, hidden inside the strawberry's own botanical name. The modern garden strawberry carries a word that nods to the pineapple, because the fragrant hybrid that emerged reminded people of that sweet, tropical aroma. A fruit born from a North American berry and a South American berry, raised in European gardens, and named with a whisper of the pineapple, the strawberry is a true traveler of the world, condensed into a single bite. Much of that early work unfolded in the gardens of coastal France, where the two distant parents happened to grow near one another, and nature quietly did the rest. From those humble beginnings, growers everywhere took up the fruit, selecting patiently for sweetness, size, and hardiness, until the strawberry became the familiar summer treasure we know today. It is a gentle reminder that even the most ordinary food on the shelf can carry an extraordinary journey inside it, and that the berry resting in your hand is the living result of centuries of human curiosity and care. Choosing good strawberries is a small art that quickly becomes second nature. Look for berries that are red all the way to the top, right up to the green cap, because strawberries stop ripening the very moment they are picked. A pale or greenish shoulder will simply stay that way, so full. Even color is the truest sign of ripeness. The caps should look fresh and green rather than dry and brown. The surface should be firm and unblemished, and a ripe strawberry rewards you with a sweet, unmistakable fragrance. That aroma alone often tells you more than the price on the label. When it comes to washing, gentle and simple is best. Rinse strawberries under cool running water just before you plan to eat them, and keep the green caps on while you do, so the berries stay firm and do not soak up extra water through the cut end. A soft pat with a clean towel is all the drying they need. Washing right before eating, rather than before storing, is the quiet secret to keeping them fresh for longer. For storage, keep strawberries unwashed in the refrigerator, ideally spread in a single layer in a container lined with a paper towel to catch any excess moisture. Kept this way, they hold their best quality for a few days. And when you have more than you can eat, freezing is a wonderful answer. Remove the caps, spread the berries on a tray so they freeze separately, then move them into a bag once they are solid. Frozen strawberries keep for months. They hold on to much of their goodness, and they blend beautifully straight from the freezer into a cool drink, which means the benefits of strawberries can stay in your kitchen long after the season has passed. Removing the cap is easy. A small knife lifts it out, or a drinking straw pushed up through the bottom pops the green top cleanly away. Little habits like these make the fruit effortless to enjoy every single day of the week. With good berries in hand, the possibilities open up beautifully, and each pairing brings its own gift to the table. Strawberries and apple make a natural match. Chop or coarsely grate a crisp apple, fold it together with sliced strawberries, and you have a fresh, no-cook mixture full of fiber and gentle sweetness. Lovely on its own, or spooned over a bowl of plain yogurt, the apple adds body and a soft tartness that flatters the berry. Strawberries and orange are another bright idea, and a real favorite for slow mornings. Segment a sweet orange, combine it with strawberries, and you create a vitamin C duet that seems to wake up the whole plate, colorful and refreshing before the day begins. For a warm weather refresher, try strawberries with a squeeze of lemon and a small drizzle of honey stirred through. The lemon sharpens and lifts. The honey rounds the edges, and a little of each transforms a simple bowl of berries into something that feels special, while keeping everything close to its natural form. A single teaspoon of honey is plenty. You can even warm this idea gently, steeping a few sliced strawberries with a thin sliver of fresh ginger, and that same touch of lemon and honey in warm, not boiling, water for a few minutes. Then sipping it slowly. Ginger brings a comforting warmth and its own lively character, and good circulation is part of how the body carries nourishment to every tissue, the eyes included. There is even a place for strawberries alongside gentler vegetables. A blended drink of strawberries with a stalk of crisp celery and a little water makes a light, hydrating cooler that leans fresh rather than sweet, easy on the stomach and pleasant in the heat of the afternoon. And for berry lovers, a mixed bowl of strawberries and blackberries brings an even wider spread of those deep antioxidant pigments, the bright red of one beside the dark jewel tones of the other. Each of these ideas uses only a few affordable ingredients: a knife, and a bowl or a simple blender. Nothing costly or hard to find. Here is the thread that ties them all together for your eyes. Every one of these pairings adds color and variety is the true foundation of eye-supporting nutrition. No single fruit does everything on its own, yet strawberries slip into almost any colorful combination, carrying their vitamin C and their bright pigments into the mix. That is what makes them such a generous, everyday choice, and it leads to a question many people quietly ask about how best to enjoy them. That question is whether to eat strawberries whole or to drink them. Both have a place, and understanding the difference helps you choose well for any moment. Whole strawberries keep all of their fiber, and that fiber is a genuine friend. It slows the release of the natural sugars, supports comfortable digestion, and helps the sweetness feel balanced rather than sharp. A fresh juice, or a smooth blend, on the other hand, offers a more concentrated and convenient form of certain nutrients, and it can be a delightful way to enjoy the fruit, especially when time is short and you want something quick and bright. A gentle middle path works beautifully. A blended drink keeps much of the fruit's fiber because the whole berry goes in rather than being strained away. And if a drink ever tastes very concentrated, a splash of water softens it and makes it easier to sip slowly and enjoy. Drinking a glass of plain water alongside is simply a matter of comfort, and it suits this fruit's own love of hydration. As for timing, morning or early afternoon tends to be the most comfortable place for fruit in a daily rhythm, when the body welcomes a bright, refreshing lift, and there is a whole day ahead to enjoy it. A handful of strawberries on most days sits easily within a varied diet, and there is no need at all for large amounts. Moderation keeps the experience pleasant and the sweetness in balance. For anyone with a sensitive stomach, pairing strawberries with something creamy like yogurt, or simply choosing the whole fruit over a strong, concentrated juice, keeps everything gentle and kind. Strawberries are meant to be a simple pleasure, not a strict routine, and that ease is exactly why they last as a lifelong habit. The value grows not from any single glass on any single day, but from the steady, colorful pattern of your everyday eating, repeated gently over the years. A word, too, for anyone watching their budget, because good, eye-friendly eating should never feel like a luxury. Strawberries are among the most accessible of all fruits, and there are easy ways to make them stretch. Frozen berries often cost less than fresh and keep for months, ready the moment you want them. Blending a modest handful of strawberries with a cheaper filling partner like a banana or a chopped apple turns a small amount of fruit into a generous, satisfying serving that feeds more than one person. Buying in season, when local berries are plentiful, brings both the finest flavor and the friendliest price, and freezing the extra keeps that value on hand for later. The goal is never to spend more, but simply to eat colorfully with whatever is affordable and close by. This is also a fruit that gathers a family around it. A shared bowl of strawberries after a meal makes a naturally sweet finish that can gently take the place of heavier, sugary desserts, and it delights children and grandparents alike. A small bowl, perhaps a cupful, is a comfortable serving for most people, and there is no need to measure too strictly. Some days it might be a few berries beside breakfast, other days a tall, cool blend to share in the afternoon heat. The rhythm can bend easily around real life. What matters is that the fruit keeps returning to the table, bright and welcome, so that its quiet contribution to healthy eyes and a healthy body becomes woven naturally into the ordinary days. And that brings us to the simplest way of all, to hold everything together. There is one more thread worth drawing out before we gather everything together, and it reaches back to the heart of why any of this matters. Your eyes are among the most intricate and hard-working parts of the whole body. At the back of each eye lies the retina, a delicate, light-sensitive screen that turns the world into signals your brain can read, and at its center sits that small, precious spot of sharpest vision we spoke of earlier. This tissue works tirelessly. It handles a great deal of light, and like any hardworking system, it benefits from steady, thoughtful care. Food is one of the quiet ways that care arrives. The vitamin C in strawberries, the bright antioxidant pigments, the water that keeps tissues comfortable, and the beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin from the colorful partners you pair them with, all become part of the raw material the body draws upon for its patient, ongoing maintenance. None of it is a single dramatic cure. It is something better and more dependable, the slow, cumulative strength of good, colorful eating, day after ordinary day. That is the honest and encouraging truth at the center of this whole story. And it is why a fruit as humble as the strawberry earns its place in any conversation about vision and about lasting good health. So let us gather the most useful ideas into something you can carry straight into your own kitchen. If you remember only a few things, let them be these. A daily cupful of whole strawberries, rinsed just before eating with the caps kept on, is a simple and affordable way to bring vitamin C, fiber, hydration, and bright antioxidants to the table, all of which quietly support healthy eyes. A few times a week, a strawberry and carrot blend, finished with a single teaspoon of flaxseed oil stirred into the cool drink, pairs the vitamin C of the berry with the beta-carotene of the carrot and helps the body absorb those fat-soluble carotenoids, a small habit with a thoughtful reward for eyesight. And above all, let strawberries be one bright color among many. Combine them with kiwi, orange, apple, a little parsley, or a creamy spoon of yogurt, and let variety do the deeper work. Choose berries that are fully red and fragrant. Store them unwashed and cool, and freeze whatever you cannot use so that none of the goodness is ever wasted. Rinsed gently, kept cool, and enjoyed often, they reward you far beyond their small size and modest cost. None of this asks for expensive products or special skill. It asks only for fresh fruit, clean water, and a little gentle attention. Strawberries for eyesight are not a single miracle held in a glass. They are one lovely, dependable part of a colorful way of eating that nourishes the eyes and the whole body together. And that is where the real and lasting strength lies. And so we return to where we began, to that small red fruit resting quietly in a bowl. Its color speaks of pigments that help defend delicate tissues. Its juice carries vitamin C to support the clear window at the front of the eye. Its sweetness and its water make it a joy to include, and its long journey from tiny woodland berry to beloved garden fruit reminds us how much history can hide inside something so ordinary. Strawberries are simple, familiar, and easy to find, yet they hold real nourishment, gentle tradition, and quiet care for the way you see the world. Let them be a bright and regular part of your table. Thoughtful, colorful eating supports clear eyes and a healthy body, and it can begin with something as humble, as affordable, and as beautiful as a single ripe strawberry.